What's up, U.S. history? So slight change of plans. I was thinking about it over the last day or so, and I did in my other video, if you watch that one first, where it's your journal entry attached. That's more like the assignment for today. I went through and I mentioned that we were going to start a mini biography, kind of a life narrative of Teddy Roosevelt, who was an American president and kind of a very interesting and important American from the time period we're covering. Anyway, I decided to put that on pause. I already have that one recorded. That one will drop tomorrow for you, but I realized I had already talked at you quite a bit in the other video. And something pretty big happened that is definitely going to impact the country over this weekend. It actually happened last Friday. But one of the Supreme Court justices, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, passed away. So I have this article from NPR, which, you know, we talked about bias and tribalism and that stuff earlier on. NPR is supposed to be, it's National Public Radio, but this is an article that was done. Generally, you'd think it's a government resource, so they should be pretty fair and balanced and unbiased. In fairness, though, usually NPR kind of gets a reputation as being more like left-wing or a little bit more toward the side of the Democrats. So keep that in mind as you read the article. Anyway, I thought it'd be good to just kind of pause, have you guys read this article and think about this for a day and just kind of talk at you really quick about it. And then we'll probably come back to it later in the week and do a current events like discussion thread where what do you think this means for the country? And I realize probably most of you don't follow, you know, the latest in politics. Some of you might be interested in it, some of you not so much. And the Supreme Court doesn't get as much press or attention by any means as like President Trump or what's going on in Congress. However, I would say that the Supreme Court in a lot of ways in recent years has kind of impacted our daily lives, maybe even more so than like the president or Congress does. We're going to cover some really big Supreme Court cases throughout the year. To hit just a couple of them really quick, like in 1954, there was the Brown versus Board of Education decision. That one said you couldn't have black and white schools anymore. Now schools are going to be integrated. You know, you couldn't have segregation or separate but equal in schools because essentially doing that, the black schools were never really treated equal, especially down south. Go a generation later, there's the Roe versus Wade, maybe one of the most controversial court cases in recent history or over the last 100 years. That was the one that said abortion will be legal in all 50 states. There's a lot of speculation that with this change on the Supreme Court, that case might get revisited and overturned. In recent years, in our lifetime, there was a Supreme Court decision, I think it was about 5-6 years back, that legalized gay marriage. So anyway, those are some big ones that have happened over the last like 3 generations that have definitely impacted American life. I just wanted you to be aware that Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who is definitely one of the most like liberal or Democrat-leaning justices on the Supreme Court, just passed away. So it looks like President Trump almost certainly will get to put another Supreme Court justice on, whether he gets reelected or not, because the president appoints and the Senate confirms. And right now the Senate is controlled by Republicans. So Trump's already put 2 justices up. This will probably be a 3rd one, and that could have some pretty big implications for the country where now it would appear that the Supreme Court is definitely, for the first time in quite a while, going to have a really strong conservative or right-wing like majority on the court. So read this article. Tell me what you think. Some of the cases that might be coming up and being heard by the Supreme Court would be revisiting abortion, gun rights, issues as free speech, some of the immigration issues, all that stuff will probably be heard because the Supreme Court gets to decide what cases they're going to bring up and look at. So anyway, getting a little long-winded on you, go ahead and read through this article, do a little bit of research on it, maybe find a few articles of your own, and then expect at some point later in the week, we're going to come back and revisit this, get a little more in depth on it, and do like a current events discussion day. Hope you enjoy.